I had to record. Oh, I forgot to hit the record button. I like normally have like a preparation thing before I do that, and so I just hit it by accident. And it only clicked in my head that I did that. Just now. So now we're here for episode 2 of Act 12. And the audio's already starting again. Which is funny because as soon as I stopped recording yesterday, I wasn't really that tired anymore. I guess maybe I'm bored of these and I just don't care to acknowledge it because I don't feel like I'm bored of it, but apparently all the yawning that I'm doing tells me that I am. It's weird. So I have not made Act 13 yet. That's going to be a very interesting one because I can't use more than 3 Hot Wheels drivers. And it'll probably just be the trademark 3 that I always think of when it comes to this series. Or at least the Hot Wheels series in general, not this series in particular, but that always being Alex, Vert, and Danny, because they represent each of the 3 main storyline games. Since no one really represents Beat That except for that, kind of, but I guess So Fast kind of does, but not really. Since he was an established character in Burn and Rubber, I feel like he actually more appropriately is for that game. So okay, so Soundtrack Challenge is absolutely Alex. Even the Ryan Storm and Race Cam and everyone else started there. Burn and Rubber was So Fast's game. Velocity X was Danny. GBA Velocity X was Gearhead. Trying to think who else was in what game, or what the order the games were. Because yeah, after GBA Velocity X is sort of fuzzy for me sometimes. I want to say was it Battle Force 5? In which case I don't know if we even count that. I guess technically that's Vert, but at the same time that's also I always consider Vert to be World Race since he came from that movie and that show and that game and whatnot. So before he was in Battle Force 5 6 years later. Or thereabouts. Beat That was definitely that to me. This car has a very weird noise. Or makes very weird noises when it's idle like this. It's like Track Attack, the console version was absolutely the Govner, and then who was in what cover? Actually, Twin Mill was because Twin Mill's Turbo Racing to me. So I guess the DS version is Govner, and the Wii version is 16 Angels. And they got a Track Attack, and then we had a. Yeah, no, we didn't have Micro Race. I don't even know. Micro Racers might be Metacog or something. No, Micro Racers would be Raceman. Even though we had the worst car in the game on that one, but or no, so I'd say Megacog did. It's a tie between those two. I was wasting recording time here. Holy crap! I think I'm missing a couple in between there somewhere. Oh yeah, it was World Race after that. GBA World Race was probably I don't honestly know who that was. And I guess we'll just call the 2 World Race games the same entity, and therefore World Race is Vert, and then it was Turbo Racing, which I said was Twin Mill. Micro Racers is Metacog, and not Metacog. Raceman. Even Raceman debuted in Turbo Racing, but that's beside the point. The second running to beat that was, like, I guess you would say it was the, call that XT3, maybe? XT3 or Battle Spec, but Battle Spec I don't know how much of a permanent driver he's going to be, so I think XT3 would be a better bet there. And then now we have Stunt Track Driver, which, well, I mean, we don't really know yet, but allegedly it could be, like, Silhouette, so since that's, like, the best car from the start. And in the race, the top two have basically already been chosen because we both Bedlam and I started at the front. So what's funny is Gran Turismo Sport, the game that I used to record the kind of like themed cars that weren't obviously, well, for the most part, weren't carbon copies of the Hot Wheels cars, but they were kind of themed after them. That recently got updated, and one of the cars that was put in was the Ferrari GTO. Unfortunately, the game costs way too much in-game currency for me to ever even think of getting, so... Yeah, this is an 80s Ferrari, meaning that nowadays that thing goes for like, well, apparently $1.8 million according to Gran Turismo. But they also managed to put the Barcelona racetrack on there, which is, of course, one of like 2 or 3 tracks that's been in every act. Barcelona. Oh, we didn't need that there, I guess. Barcelona is kind of like... I'd probably say it's my favorite track on this game. Favorite track in F1 2017 and 18 as well. Bye, Dr. Justice. Okay, now the podium has been basically decided already, and we're only 2 laps in. Okay, I'm beginning to think I'm yawning because I'm bored. And the way this race currently is going, that doesn't surprise me that I'm bored, because, it's not really going anywhere. Alright, so it seems like, for the most part, this championship is going to be down to Govner, Twin Mill, Grease Lightning, myself, and Bedlam. The other 10 drivers are just like guest appearances, pretty much. The thing is, I haven't even eaten since like 7. And now it is a little after 1, I believe that's the time anyway. 1:30 actually. And so I've gone 6.5 hours without eating, and on average I eat like once every 5 hours, so that's not really helping me either. Watch Gearhead as he actually rolls his way into the points here. Grease Lightning has had enough of me in second. Hmm. Right now of my microphone just failing on me. Alright, Gearhead is suddenly not in points anymore. I guess Madison passed him. The more I think about it too, the more I realize that Madison and Sparky in concept are the same character. They just have slightly different backgrounds, with one just being a normal girlfriend who apparently can drive, but I wouldn't believe it. As that's actually her right there, getting passed by literally everybody. Gearhead seems like he'll be next, within due time. Due time being pretty much now. Yes, well, Sparky's just a regular girlfriend. Madison is the friend-zoned person that I haven't seen in 4 years, because they don't live in my town anymore. And even if they did, I don't really go to normal school. I'm homeschooled, so... As I think I mentioned, if not in the videos leading up to it, I mentioned it for sure in the Powerpuff Girls bio that I was homeschooled, just like they were on that, just like the girls are in that game. That their Universe Zero like lore is actually and not normal ones that everyone knows as cartoon characters. But instead I, of course, go with the somewhat obscure PC website game that lasted for 4 years and somehow gained a cult fan base of, like, about 6,000 people. That's probably a little more than that, but that was like a really rough estimate that is totally bullcrap, but I wouldn't know either way, so... I know day one saw like 2,000 accounts made, so... when they put the game back up for full release on September 30th. So just over a month ago. Alright, well hopefully the starting grid gods can give us something a little bit better than that one for, oh god. Yeah, this will be interesting. So I guess never mind that, because this track never has interesting races. Doesn't matter who is in what car. You can't pass here. I don't even know why I put it on here. So, and I know it's not going to work too well because of the fact that we're going to do another World Race playthrough. The main reason I did the Velocity X car list was because I know that at some point there will be another Velocity X playthrough with MSC Suzuka. And that the other cars, or knowing exactly who the other cars were, would be beneficial, even though most of the cars on that list won't even appear anyway. Like, you won't see Overboard 454 in gameplay, which, I mean, that works because it's just bubbles on my list, so you don't even have to change that, but You don't see so fast either, ever, because unless you pick so fast, the AI don't, unless you're in like battle or drag race mode or like multiplayer, obviously. Well, Hypermite should be able to get some points now since he's starting on the pole. And he got off the line in second gear. What? Not by two, no. And hi, Bedlam. Make it boring again. Stop putting this guy at the front. I never would have thought this car would be so fast. It looks like it's a four-door sedan. Why is that the fastest car here? Doesn't make any sense. One thing I thought about doing was, kind of like how I always mention, like, oh, this person won the Rookie League and Alex won the Veteran League and World Race, so I actually thought about having, like, an actual bracket set up. Like, I mentioned, like, the 12 drivers that were in Rookie, the 12 that were in a Veteran, and the 11 that were in Elite. And this wouldn't even be based on the canon, necessarily. This would just be based on driver's skill. And sort of, I guess, having to, we'll have to probably place a few of the no-names into Rookie and Veteran, because a no-name driver would definitely not be an Elite. They just wouldn't work that way. Defend Twin Mill. Defend like your, well, first place depends on it. Mainly because that actually does. This thing is like an Act 3 car. This is supposed to be like, I said, Act 1.5, but this is almost like Act 3, like 2.5 probably. Well, the same handling as the Ferrari, and then it just has so much more power. It's like a less cool looking Cobra. Hypermite's hanging on to 4th. Probably because he has some help from So Fast, blocking a lot of traffic back there. How am I in last? Oh, because I started there. Why am I so far away from everybody, though? Something has to have happened here. There I go around Muscle Tone, and I get into Deliverance. I knew something happened, and that's spun me completely backwards. I'm even surprised that I had the AI had the sense to even continue from that. Given that usually when it comes to recovering themselves, the AI in this game are hardly geniuses. Crusading has also passed Twin Mill now. Madison is coming for Hypermite. I would think that she can get him by the end of the race. Keyword is, of course, think. Usually, when I think something in the series, I'm often wrong, unless it's already a predetermined thing. Like, I think, like, you know, for example, like, I think Bedlam will win the race. Well, yeah, probably. If the circumstances are even remotely favorable, he'll probably win the race. As he's already 3 seconds ahead, so it would take him basically crashing to lose. And the AI in this game don't exactly crash without a cause to. It's like, oh, Hypermite actually ran a faster lap than Twinmill did. One, sure, this definitely isn't going to fix my hatred of this truck, as then I have a terrible performance at it, and I won't even be scoring. This is not what I wanted. I think the Giver was even trying to pass a gearhead there. I almost called him so fast. What? What's wrong with me? That's not so fast. Well, gear. Stop! Hyperman is like a top 5, like, in the bag. I don't know if he'll hang on for 4th, though. We still have another run down to turn 1 after this. I still might score. Might. I have to clear the Lotuses first. So there's 4 mid-engine cars all in a row. So fast, the 2 Lotuses and then me. I think. Wait, no, I think the Miura's. Never mind. And then we run into Dr. Justice there. I know we usually call him the Professor, but I call him Dr. Justice because, like, there's gonna be another Professor at some point, and that'll just get confusing. Alright, so I'm now going to at least score a point. Possibly 1 or 2 more than this, but I don't know how much more I can get. I'll get 1 more. Let's see when I can finish this pass on Otto here, which I think I will. No, I will not. Forgot his car has good handling, but he also messed up the corner exit, so I will take that. Thank you. Madison still hasn't passed Hypermite. Maybe, perhaps Hypermite will hold on for 4th place. And I think I failed to pass Otto. That might have been my only opportunity, though never mind, because I'm now to his right, and still to his right. So fast as being a little bit of a spanner in the works here. But again, all I have to do is I just have to get close enough to where the AI would recognize that, oh, someone's there. And then I can just take them both in one turn, pretty much. Now the two of them are dueling, I think. Yeah, they're side by side now. Otto will probably win that one. And speaking of win, for what I think might actually be the 3rd time in a row at least, might even be 4th. Bedlam will win the race. And also, no, it doesn't cross. That's 2 turns off. Lightnin once again will come in 2nd. With Twinmill in 3rd, and Hypermite will in fact, I think, take 4th place. Madison just couldn't get close enough. Lightnin with the fastest lap, but that doesn't really do so much when you didn't win. So Hypermite with 4th, which is kind of crazy. Gearhead will actually keep 6th as well. Govner just couldn't find that way around either. I do manage 8th, despite having an absolutely abysmal start to the race. And looks like the Professor will be the last one to score points. So fast really got knocked over there. Now we get on to what is hopefully a little bit of a better race. A little bit is the key word. And maybe this time Bedlam won't start in the top 4. And you'll actually have to like work to win the race. At least we can hope that, anyway. Will it actually happen? Maybe. Awkward silence for you there, as I like forgot I was supposed to be commentating. I'm like completely out of things to talk about, and right now and there I was just, oh, yeah, Bedlam definitely has to work for it this time. He's starting in dead last. And I'm right back there with him, of course, because I just can't get anything. And also Lightnin is as well. So this is going to be Twinmill's opportunity to sneak a victory in there. Because the only one, Madison, and then the Govner, and then us 3 here, are the rest of the ones that aren't even close to Twinmill on speed. So Twinmill has plenty of breathing room here, and he's going to use all of it. Meanwhile, Bedlam won't have such the easiest time winning this race, given the fact that he has to contend with me and Lightnin as he climbs through the field. And just doing one or the other isn't really that easy, so trying to do both at once is just probably not going to be any easier, obviously. Quite glad that past me only made this 4 laps, because 5 and we probably reached about, almost reached the limit. As so fast loses several places. I have no idea where anybody is in the leaderboard because it doesn't update, so I know for a fact that actually it has updated. Never mind. I think it updated as soon as they switched point of view, make to a different car. There's a scorpion on the side of that car, apparently. Sure, I guess. Get over here! That was probably a bit loud. And the mic. The Governor's already in third? How? Twin Wheel has 2 seconds. I thought it'd been bigger than that already. Only 2 seconds, huh? Acetone will possibly try to pass Dr. Justice. No, I will not. He will not. I'm not Acetone. I'm over down here. Crying out loud, gearhead. Just let me go away. Just go away. I am thoroughly out of the ability to commentate right now, by the way. I have nothing left to say, I have nothing prepared to talk about. I only remembered, like, about an hour and a half ago that I was even supposed to record this, because I was originally just going to go up and grab a snack and watch some YouTube, and then realized, well, yeah, I still have a thing to record, and I can't really have food while I'm recording. Especially not the food that I plan to have. I plan to get a bowl of popcorn, and I eat popcorn very, very loudly. So, I decided not to calm your eardrums to that, and just not have food yet, but I guarantee you, once I've had some food, I'll be, like, wide awake. After I no longer have to be, because I don't have to talk anymore, but, you know. You see, I probably wouldn't have noticed if this were like Act 7 or so, that this act was not very interesting. Also, they're dead even, pretty much. But after the high point that was Act 12? No, Act 11. This is 12. This act is not great. Because unlike Act 11, we have 2 or arguably 3 cars that are far superior to everything else in the field. Lightnin, Bedlam, and the Govner. Well, it's either the Govner or it's me. Depending on the race, it'll be one or the other usually. In this case, it'd be the Govner, obviously. Even though I'm actually ahead of Bedlam because he's having a harder time with this traffic than I am. Specifically Gearhead. He's also apparently been hit in the rear and the left side at one point by someone. I have no idea who that would be. It's 8 seconds between the So Fast and the next car, which is Hypermite, and then Sparky and Raceman are right on his tail, as much as that really doesn't matter at that point, but, you know. Auto, I believe, is actually quicker than Twin Mill on this lap. I don't think that's quite a 2-second gap though, it's like 1.5. Though I can't really be sure on that. I'm not really great at judging time elapsing. Govner might not... Actually, no, I don't think he's faster than they are. Those lap times aren't faster, so therefore I don't think he is faster either. If I'm still convinced to stay here, this is a solid finish for this car. This is, again, higher than Race Cam could get it, though Act 1 actually had faster cars, like... Well, I mean, here, the GTO is almost the peak, but in Act 1, the, well, the Countach is doing a lot better than this. Grease Lightning managed to reach 4th, somehow. So that'll be big for him. Bedlam might not even score. I don't know if he's past Gearhead. He did not pass Gearhead. Grease Lightning was, of course, the fastest one on the track. So a big thing for... No, the race isn't over yet. I was like, oh, well, that's the end of the 4th lap. The thing should be over shortly, and then I realized, oh, wait. No, it isn't, because otherwise we would have seen the checkered flag by now, because Sparky crossed the line in last, but... no, we're not done yet, genius. Also, someone's apparently hit somebody. I'm not sure who or when, but he hit somebody because his car has got slight damage. Yeah, so like Race Cam had some stiffer competition because not only were the drivers better, but the cars they were in were also better than the Mustang by a lot. Like, the actual Act 1 had the Corvette of 16 Angels, Alex is in that Ferrari, which is better than Twin Mill by a bit. Danny had his Supra, Bert had that Mercedes touring car. And of course some opponents were much slower, like Gearhead was in a worse SUV, So Fast was still in that same Lamborghini, with no acceleration whatsoever. It's like the opposite of the Cobra. That's the one that was there at the time, was the Cobra. The only two that it really has to fear massively would be Bedlam and Grease Bedlam and Grease Lightning. Bedlam and the Alpha, who he's finally gotten around Gearhead, and as well as Deliverance, and now about to be Madison too. Asked a lot of space over there. I mean, the personal space Bedlam coming on now. Of course, Bedlam now apparently has a pivotal role in Stunt Track Driver, despite the fact that he didn't really do much of... I say he didn't do much of anything. That's actually completely false. He was winning the championship before that, froze everything on him. Or was it Blossom? We may never know. It probably wasn't, though, because Blossom's not a part of that canon, just this one. It's just a matter of, because Universe Zero is referenced in his videos, I feel like more of the references could be made than just the fact that Alex is in Solar CX4. So while drivers like Blossom or myself don't outright have cars in that arc, that doesn't mean that they can't be somehow mentioned occasionally. Some weird brake lights on this car. Alright, hey, there's Barcelona too. So, Bedlam has a 15-point lead, despite the fact that Bedlam hardly even got into the points positions in the last race. Everybody has scored, Sparky having the least points, with only 2. I guess I have to say a little bit about the balance is that in the first 3 acts at least, nobody or there was always someone that didn't score, at least one person. In Act 1 it was actually more than one probably, because I'm so fast. Gearhead and a couple others were not very good in that championship and didn't really accomplish much. But yeah, so that'll be all for no, not Act 12, just the second episode of it. I'd rather not fall asleep on the mic this time. Done that once before, and that was already bad enough, so... yeah, another one will be up tomorrow, assuming I remember or find the time, which... if my friend gets online tomorrow, like I think he might, then I don't think I will have the time, because I'll be playing with him until the sun comes up pretty much, so... despite how late that is, because it's winter, and November, and Minnesota doesn't really have the longest days by November, so... yeah.